Now, the moment that I have been waiting for personally for about 24 hours or so.
Same here. Same here. You're not alone on this, Will. I mean, if the desk wasn't high, I'd kick my feet up.
Max.
Chill out. Floor's yours, bro.
What was going through your mind last night?
What was going through my mind last night, I'm going to start calmly and try to stay there as much as possible, which is, at number 6, there were an embarrassment of riches in the draft. So as a Giants fan who not only wanted a quarterback, but who believes Haskins is actually the best player in that draft. Haskins with 50 touchdowns to 8 interceptions and a 70% completion percentage, even though he constantly threw the ball down the field. Haskins, who got better and better as the year went on, whose teammates love him, who's an obvious natural-born leader who has the confidence bordering on arrogance of a guy who believes he will be great. That guy, Haskins, who grew up in Jersey rooting for the Giants, like who's going to be to the Giants what Derek Jeter was to the Yankees with the 6th overall pick, too, by the way. They're not going to take him because there are too many other great players there, and maybe they're not as high on him as others. And there are some other quarterbacks later on in this draft. Damn. But obviously, you don't take Daniel Jones at 6. There is a word for the Daniel Joneses of the world. By the way, even if he turns out to be a great quarterback, you know what it is? It's a phrase. Day 2 guy. You don't have to spend a first-round pick on Daniel Jones. Haskins went to Washington. Did you notice any other team take a quarterback? No. You could have gotten him in the 2nd round. He's a classic Day 2 guy. A Duke quarterback who, for his career, 52 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. Haskins had 50 and 8 in 1 year. A 60% completion percentage, which by my calculations, I didn't major in math, but that's 10% lower, right? That's not 70%, that's 60%. That guy, because he works with Cutcliffe, who worked with the Manning brothers, you spent a 6th overall pick. Do this thought experiment. Let's say as soon as he picked 6th overall, Daniel Jones, he tried to trade him for a late first-round pick. Wouldn't have gotten it. Could he trade Daniel Jones right now for a 2nd-round pick? I don't know. But he spent the 6th pick in the draft. Let me tell you something. If that's the case, Daniel Jones got to go to the Hall of Fame now. When Gettleman sits up there and says he's a professional quarterback, really, Sherlock, you think you took a professional quarterback with a 6th overall pick? He better be a professional quarterback. He better be a great professional quarterback. Not a good one, a great one. Because Haskins is in the division now. And you could see when he got picked, he was dying to be a Giant. He wasn't even happy going to Washington because he grew up for that team and said, the league done messed up. For the next 15 years, the Giants have to pay for Gettleman's mistake. Twice a year, every year when they play Washington, and every single time Daniel Jones starts, boy, he better be a Hall of Famer one day. I'll start there.
That's a start.
And then listen.
That's a start.
Yo, man. Yo. I am a team player. Are you sure you finished for now? I mean, I have no problem deferring to you for this entire segment. Are you sure?
I finished the start. Please go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll just throw in my little nuggets of material. You know what I did? I took the liberty, you know. I mean, Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State, perennial national championship contender. Ohio State, Big Ten. And we know what he did with the 50 touchdowns, okay? 4,800 yards passing. Then I went to Daniel Jones. First of all, the name is corny. How about that?
Oh, come on.
How about that?
Come on now.
For the quarterback, right? That's first of all. Secondly, I'm looking at the schedule right here because that's what I do. You know me. I'm very big on resume. Who did you do what against? I mean, hell, I'll look like an all-world boxer if I'm boxing in the mirror. You put me in against somebody that's an all-world fighter. It's a different problem. So I'm looking at this. He threw for 396 yards against Pittsburgh. He threw for 361 yards against North Carolina. Not basketball, football. We're talking about football now, okay? He threw for 423 yards in his last collegiate game against Temple, okay? This is the Daniel Jones that they drafted. Now, I could sit up there and really, really rub it in by getting very, very serious and pointing out that the only starting quarterback in the history of the Giants organization was Geno Smith, which is who you played one game.
African-American.
That's right, African-American quarterback. That's the only black quarterback that has ever started in the history of the New York Giants. I wonder what the aversion is for the New York Giants, this gorgeous mosaic that is New York City and what have you. For some reason, you got an aversion to having a quarterback like this. I could go there, but I don't need to. Instead, what I will tell you is this, and this is the part you haven't brought up. The Mannings. This guy has a relationship with the Mannings. This guy's coach at Duke, David Cutcliffe, all right, trained and worked with Eli and Peyton, and they have such a beautiful, beautiful relationship. And because they have that relationship, obviously you deferred because Gettleman acknowledged that he did talk to Eli Manning about Daniel Jones. So let me get this straight. Eli Manning, who's 38 years old, Eli Manning, who has clearly slipped, Eli Manning, who's made it very, very clear he has no intentions of retiring. This is the last year of his contract in New York, which means it would not behoove him to really, really want a successor in place. Okay, this dude. And you went with that. You ain't a fool, you a new fool. Okay? and as a result of that, the New York Giants, with Daniel Jones as the future, they will be going up against Dwayne Haskins, Carson Wentz,
But this is my favorite
and
one.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, boy.
In the division. Wow.
My favorite one.
Wow.
I like that one. Max, I'm going to give you one more shot at this, and we're going to be doing Daniel Jones all throughout this show, the New York Giants all throughout this show, because I'm not letting it rest here. But Stephen A. brought up the competition. You know what Daniel Jones' record was when playing at the top level, when playing in the ACC. He was 7 wins, 17 losses, 57% completion.